fortunate, and this I'm not the most sentimental person, that's for sure, but it's really exciting. Just driving into the arena and seeing some familiar faces, people that mean a lot to me, is very special.
Greg Logan.
Steve, a couple of things. First of all, we know about the Kyrie's back. Has his finger been a problem so far? And then what is your talk like with James Harden tonight before the game, as far as what he needs to do?
Kyrie's finger, it's one of those things, I think, having been through that where you sprain a finger, you end up gaining a comfort with it. And so I think clearly last night he gained a comfort with his finger. So it never feels great, but you end up kind of becoming a little numb to it once you are functioning. I think the adrenaline and your comfort with, I think there was a game or two where the ball was uncharacteristically kind of coming out of his hands, funny at times. But it seemed obviously the last couple of games he's on top of that, and I can relate a little bit in that you do start to get familiar with that finger and that numbness and pain or whatever it presents. So James, he does a lot for this team, and that'll have to be the case tonight. But I think most importantly, our team's still got to look long term. What can we gain from tonight? Well, how can we improve? How can we give ourselves a chance to win by continually refining what we're trying to accomplish? And the guys have been good. We've had a couple, I guess three games in a row where we've really, stuck together, stuck to our principles, and put in good performances. So it's something to build on, win or lose. Like I keep telling them, we want to get better and be a better team down the line.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Hey, Steve, I was having a tough time hearing you at the beginning, so I was just hoping that you could clarify. You said that Kyrie got treatment at halftime, and then secondly, do you see a role for Andre Robertson tonight?
Kai did get a little treatment, and I know it was bothering him a little bit yesterday in the game, so he did get some treatment at halftime. So it wasn't something that he just woke up with this morning. There was some discomfort yesterday. And Andre, it's a tough question. I could see there being a possibility of him playing, but I think that's got to present itself during the night, having just shaken his hand for the first time. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is a third and 4 nights on a lot of travel, and we'll see what presents itself.
Thank you.
Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, like you say, back here in Phoenix. But what do you think of the Suns' run, and what challenges did they present to you guys tonight?
Well, they're really a terrific team. They have a lot of depth and length, athleticism. Obviously, 2 closers in Chris and Book, and they're a group that is moving together in a really positive direction as well. So not just do they have the pieces, but they're coming together. And I think Monty deserves a lot of credit. He's a terrific coach. And, I think you can see his fingerprints all over the way this group is coming together. So, for us, for all the reasons I mentioned, they'll pose a lot of problems, very strong defensively, very capable offensive team. So they can spread you out. They got one-on-one players. They can put guys in pick and roll situations and cause all sorts of mismatch problems. So it'll be a real challenge for us. It's great. We need these types of teams and nights where we can grow and get to know ourselves and how we're going to be able to compete at this level.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, what's going on, Coach? Do you think guys have kind of gotten a little numb to the in and out? Kevin's in one day, out one day. Kyrie's in one day, out one day. DeAndre's in one day, out one day. Are guys kind of just getting used to playing without people, or is it you still kind of have to adjust to not having some of your star guys in the rotation?
I think guys are getting used to it. I mean, we said it from the start of the year. This is the way this year is going to be. It's kind of impossible during a pandemic and with a waterlogged schedule not to have things arise and nearly consistently arise. So I think guys kind of knew going in that this is the type of season we were going to face, and they're, like you said, a little bit numb to it now. The challenge is for us to continue to improve no matter who comes out every night. How can we get better at what we're trying to do so that, we're not giving away games or weeks of the season. We're constantly, addressing issues, solving problems, and working towards a bigger goal.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
You guys had initially said KD would miss at least 2 games. I'm just curious, is it too early to have any more clarity on whether he might be available Thursday?
Yeah, I don't have an update on that. I think it's still too early, though I do think we're all optimistic that it's not a long-term thing, but we couldn't put a time frame on it. We still have to monitor it. It's so early still. So we have to see how it settles and what kind of strength he can develop in it, and that's only going to happen when it's ready.
Tom Dowd, BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Steve, just a little bit more, get settled. What do you like about him? What can he potentially bring to the table for you guys?
Sorry, you cut out when you said the name. Who?
Andre Robertson. Once he gets settled and you get some time with him, what can he potentially bring to the table for you guys?
Well, Andre, has experience as a defensive wing. He's got some length and experience, and has hung his hat on the defensive end. So I think having a piece that can go out there and slow people down and be a part of our defense is kind of the profile that we identified in him, and hopefully we'll get a chance to bring him into the mix and gel. It's like I said, I just shook his hand for the first time, so I haven't even had a chance to talk to him about what we do, but we'll get there and we'll see how he fits in.
Vince Goodwill, Yahoo Sports.
Hey, Steve. Steve Kerr the other night talked about the uniqueness of taking over as a first-year coach for a team with championship expectations and how he kind of had to sit in it a little bit and rather having to take over a team with talent without it. Have you had that moment where you had to just sit in the enormity of this job and your role in it, or is it just such a day-to-day, moment-to-moment thing that you haven't had a chance to analyze even your place right now?
That's a good question. It's a little bit of both. There is so much to being a head coach in this league. Connecting all departments and all people, trying to lead. All those things take up more time than the coaching, in a sense. So I think early on in the season, I just tried to embrace everything that gets thrown at us and try to grow from it, and look at it as a positive in a sense, to be able to experience all the different scenarios that we faced this year. So I haven't necessarily had a chance, or maybe won't even take the approach of feeling if it's enormity or whatever it is of coaching a team with high expectations. For me, that's exciting. That's why I was excited to take on the challenge. And at the same time, I realized that there's time for me to grow and to gain comfort and confidence in who we are, what I do, and what I can bring to helping this team see its best form. Because it really is about the group. It's not so much about me. It's about us as a staff coming together, figuring out how we can, provoke the best performance out of this group continually until we get to the end of the road.
Last question, Ryan Rucco, Yes Network.
Steve, sort of a specific one here, but Bruce Brown's restricted area field goal percentage, I know it's a small sample size, but it is way up compared to his career averages. I'm just wondering why you think that is and how one goes about improving in that area.
I think willingness as much as anything. He obviously has a knack for scoring around the basket. I mean, when I saw him guarded by Hassan Whiteside roll to the basket and get an and one, I thought this is going in a direction I never thought was capable. But he has a willingness, and he realizes that with all the offensive talent we have on this team, he's not going to find minutes by being out there making plays. He's going to be a guy that is going to find minutes on the floor defensively by fitting in some way offensively. And so using him as a roller, as a short roller, as a slasher, a cutter, a picker, all those things, that's his way. If he can find a way to make the defense respect him and pay for his movement, that he can be on the floor for his defensive abilities. And the offensive stuff that he's done is really been the icing. He just shown such a knack to finish in that kind of 8 feet and in range. It's impressive. I really admire the way he's been willing to change and do those things, and then how efficient he's been at it has been remarkable.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, everyone.